GTM Podcast Buddhist Knowledge 38 Blessing of Life Blessing 12 Care for Your Children Part 4. Hello everyone. You are listening to GTM Podcast Buddhist Knowledge series on 38 Blessing of Life. Right now we are currently on Blessing 12, and it is about how to take care of your children, which make our life become blessing as well. Continue from the previous episode, we learned the importance of being a parent and why it is necessary to take care of our children. So let's begin our episode today. From birth to adulthood. Learning the importance of being a parent. There are 5 duties for parents in bringing up their children from the time the child is born to the time he is old enough to look after himself. 1. Not allowing your child to do anything evil. 2. Teach your child to establish in virtue. 3. See that your child is educated. 4. Arrange your child's marriage. 5. Pass on your legacy to your child. For all 5 of these parental duties, especially establishing the child in virtue, it is absolutely necessary that the parents have the following 4 qualities. 1. The ability to distinguish themselves between good and evil. For example, they should establish in right view. 2. Patience. 3. Ability to recognize the characteristics of false friends and good friends. These are mentioned in Blessing 1 and Blessing 2. 4. Self-discipline. If potential parents lack these prerequisites, perhaps they should wait until they manage to develop them before considering to have children. Not allowing their child to succumb to wickedness. Not allowing your child to succumb to wickedness means to prevent your child exhibiting any of the 16 traits already mentioned in the first blessing for false friends. Whether a child grows up into a fool or a wise one depends on their teacher and their environment. The first and most immediate environment to the child are the parents themselves. So here are some practical tips for how to prevent your child from doing evil. 1. Set a good example. Thus, the first thing you must do to teach your child to do no evil is not to say or do anything evil in front of your children. Hypocritical behavior in front of your children will ruin their upbringing. Parents drink alcohol and smoke in front of their children, and even send their children to buy their liquor or cigarettes. They explain the child, "Don't drink or smoke when you grow up. It's bad for you." But they think they themselves are too old to change and therefore don't even attempt to set an example. Such a lesson is of no value to the child. Even parents who teach their children to lie will suffer in the end because the parent will become a victim to their own insincerity. 2. Keep devices for evil doing out of the house. You need to make sure the environment in the house is one which doesn't encourage evil. You should make sure that You don't allow equipment for doing evil into the house right from the time your first child is born. Objects such as liquors bottles, wine-bringing kits, gambling tables, or pornographic materials should be cleared out of the house, and no further such things allowed to enter into the house anymore. 3. Help choose your child's friends. Parents need to have a close relationship with both their child and his friends. This is to make sure that your child is not associating with friends who are going to influence him in a damaging way. Here are 2 suggestions which may be useful in this respect. 1. Regular tea parties for a child and their friends. Child and his friends to come to play once a week. It may be extra work to prepare cakes for all those friends, but while the friends are tucking into their tea, the parents will learn enough about the character of the friends from the things they say to advise their child which friends to associate with. 2. At least 1 communal family meal per day. There should be at least 1 meal a day when all the family come together. Maybe the evening meal, to give the chance for the parents to notice any signs of guilt on a child's face. The first time the child does something wrong, such as lying, smoking, or shoplifting, the guilt will be very noticeable. The second and subsequent times, less and less noticeable. Until the end, there is no guilt. If the family are all together once each day, then the parent can correct a child's behavior while it is still fresh in the child's mind. If your child plays with friends who are evil, then he will absorb those habits at his own, such as swearing words or unattractive slang. On a wider scale, bad friends may bring ruin to the family, as illustrated in the following illustrative example episode of this blessing, so stay tuned. 4. Dare to discipline. For children who have done a lot of good deeds in the past, you will not have to give very many suggestions or spend too much time correcting their behavior. Some children seem to know instinctively what is right and what is wrong, and always keep themselves on the straight and narrow. For some children, being told off a single time will be enough to keep them from doing something evil all their life. However, there are some children who take no notice, however many times they are warned. If after sufficient criticism and reasoning, the child is still stubborn or unresponsive, or try to see how far they can try it on with their parents' authority, they may need to be beaten. If they are not beaten, they may be spoiled for the rest of their lives. Parents who need to punish their children must give serious consideration to what long-term effects the punishment will have on the child. The long-term aim in educating a child to avoid evil is to build up shame of doing evil, which in Buddhism they call this hiri, and fear of consequences of evil, ottappa. Many cultures think that beating a child is necessary part of a child's education. As in the English proverb mentioned, spare the rod and spoil the child. This will also mention in our illustrative example in the upcoming episode. However, to beat a child, especially out of anger, teach a child only to fear the parent or fear the stick, rather than fearing evil. Besides, undermining parent-child relationships as the child grows bigger and stronger, the parent will be less and less able to control the child's behavior by force. The objective parents should have in punishing a child is to shame the child from doing such an evil thing again. And that's everyone. Now you know how it is important to properly upbringing the child into adulthood. We will continue again in the next episode. Teach your child to be established in virtue, which is very important in this respect. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our podcast. See you again next time.